Russia has lost 1,183 tanks and 1,304 infantry fighting vehicles since its invasion of Ukraine. Even more extraordinary is that Ukraine has captured a good percentage of them: 389 tanks and 415 infantry fighting vehicles. Ukrainian forces are employing portable anti-tank weapons. These include the American FGM-148 Javelin, the British NLAW, and the Swedish Karl Gustav. These weapon systems have been responsible for most of Russia's casualties. However, on May 18, it was also reported that Ukraine's armed forces appeared to have used a British-made Brimstone missile for the first time in the war. Many of the Russian tanks have been destroyed with their turrets blown off the hulls because of the storage of ammunition within said turrets. This is a defect that Western militaries have been aware of for decades and was discovered in the First Gulf War. Javelin anti-tank missiles. The Javelin missile has been used effectively against Russian-designed tanks in the past, and reports from Ukraine are that it has been very effective against frontline Russian units. The FGM-148 Javelin missile is an infrared-guided, fire-and-forget anti-tank missile first deployed by the United States military in 1996. Improvements have been made to the design over the years to improve its performance and lethality, as well as give it the ability to be used in a limited anti-aircraft role. Almost all tanks compromise on armor protection. A tank with armor evenly covering all areas would either be too thinly armored where it matters most, or would be so heavy that it would affect the tank's mobility. As a result, armor is concentrated at the front of the tank, with the sides having somewhat less than the rear, top, and underside having only enough armor to protect from modest attacks. The Javelin is a top-attack missile, meaning its high explosive, anti-tank, or heat warhead is designed to impact the top of the tank, where its armor is thinner. The heat warhead is a shaped charge that melts a plate of metal into a high-velocity jet of superheated plasma. This jet burns its way into the tank where it can then damage important systems, set ammunition on fire, and kill the crew. With 8.4 kilograms, or 19 tons of explosives, the charge is more than enough to defeat the thinner armor on top of Russian tanks. Russian tanks are not totally defenseless. However, when deployed in a combat, most of them are equipped with reactive armor. Reactive armor is a box of explosive attached to a metal plate. That plate is attached to the tank. When a kinetic or high explosive round hits one of these boxes, the box explodes out and away from the tank. The objective is for that explosion to disrupt the plasma jet or break the kinetic energy penetrator. Reactive armor can be effective, but it can't cover every part of the tank for the same reason. Normal armor, it would simply be too heavy. In addition, reactive armor is only partially effective. It tends to be more effective against high explosive shells and less effective against kinetic energy penetrators. Heat rounds can sometimes defeat reactive armor, and some heat rounds are specially designed to do so. One technique is to use two warheads, one behind the other. It's time for the first heat charge to set off the reactive armor, allow some of that energy to dissipate, and then set off the second heat charge. When required, the Javelin can also be set to a direct attack mode. This can be used against fortifications and bunkers or in other situations where top attack would be inappropriate. In direct attack mode, it can also be employed in an air defense role against helicopters. NLAW Tank Killer Missile. The British government has provided more than 5,000 NLAW or next-generation light anti-tank weapons to Ukrainian fighters. The launcher expends fire-and-forget missiles at unsuspecting Russian tanks and armored vehicles. Their success on the battlefield cannot be overemphasized. They can blow through the best armor Russian tanks can field. Old model tanks that Vladimir Putin's forces are bringing out of storage are no match for an NLAW blast. One of the best advantages of the NLAW is its portability. At 3 feet and 4 inches long, it has an overall weight of 28 pounds. Compare that to the weight of a Javelin at 49 pounds, and you have a weapon that any soldier can carry and fire. The launcher comes with a sling so fighters can tote it and a rifle at the same time. The shoulder-fired launcher creates a minimum of backblast due to its dual soft launch guided system. The single-use NLAW has an effective range of 2,625 feet and a maximum range of 3,300 feet. Russian forces found out the hard way that the NLAW was a deadly system earlier in the war when long columns of tanks rolled down roads. An NLAW could take out the lead tank and the rear tank. This created traffic jams. Then the infantry called in artillery or drones to finish off the surviving tanks who were stuck in place. The NLAW has helped change the war. Ukrainian forces were desperately outnumbered before the invasion, but the anti-tank weapon quickly took center stage by eliminating hundreds of enemy tanks. Sweden Karl Gustav. On May 4, the Ukrainian military released a video of the Russian T-90M main combat tank being destroyed. The footage plainly demonstrates that the power compartment of the Russian army's most modern main battle tank was attacked. Given that the Karl Gustav recoilless gun's armor-piercing bullet has a maximum penetration depth of 500 mm and the back and sides armor of the 90M have a maximum thickness of 300 mm and it is completely destroyable. However, even if the power compartment was destroyed, the T-90M main battle tank could not be completely destroyed, especially the turret was still attached to the main body. The army launched a second strike, or the Russian crew destroyed the vehicle after abandoning it. The buttocks of this T-90M main battle tank were damaged heavily. Karl Gustav was certainly not sitting still. The gun's maximum effective range is 500 meters, but in actual warfare, it's likely to be closer, especially when confronting a Russian tank squad. Many countries utilize the Karl Gustav recoilless gun, including India, which was developed in Sweden. This 84mm recoilless gun has been constantly improving since its inception in 1946. In addition to generating new types of ammunition and more precise sights, its production materials have also been consistently enhanced. The current M4 model, which has a titanium alloy/carbon fiber structure, is 3 kg lighter than the M3 type, making it easier to carry for individual soldiers. Because of the diversity of ammunition available, the Karl Gustav recoilless gun allowed the infantry to hit a variety of objectives, and because of the rifle barrel, its accuracy significantly exceeded that of most rocket launchers. The destruction of the T-90M main battle tank once again demonstrated the Russian army's lack of assault infantry, which was unable to offer effective tank protection. The Brimstone Missile. Drone footage appeared on May 18, shared by Pavlo Kashchuk, a Ukrainian combat instructor, showing 2 Brimstone missiles striking Russian military vehicles in quick succession, sending debris flying into the air. The Brimstone missile is available in air, ground, and ship launch versions. It can be used as an anti-ship weapon or for attacking ground targets, or perhaps even both. Regardless of its purpose, each Brimstone is 1.8 meters in length, weighs 50 kg, and has a diameter of 1.8 meters. The missile is guided by dual-active millimetric wave radar and semi-active laser, which allows it to be used in adverse weather conditions and at night. There is also an inertial navigation system autopilot to get it to the general target area at extended ranges before it begins searching out its target autonomously. The warhead is a tandem-shaped charge with different delay and proximity fusing modes. The air-launched version is capable of hitting targets at between 7 and 25 km. While the maximum range of the surface launch version is unclear, it can be assumed to be lower than the air launch version, as it will not benefit from the aircraft's speed and altitude. The truck-mounted ground launch mechanism for Brimstone was supposedly developed by the UK specifically for Ukraine in a matter of days. As per the recorded footage on May 12 of a ground-based Brimstone launch in Ukraine, a streamlined development process was adopted by simply bolting a triple Brimstone launcher rack used on an aircraft onto a truck-mounted frame to enable the delivery to Ukraine in a short time frame. While there are concepts for dedicated vehicle-mounted box launchers that have been in the works with MDBA, which may be used for the Polish tank buster vehicles, making it the second country after Ukraine to field a vehicle launch version of the Brimstone.